August 19th. And again, as I said, excuse my home. I was ill, food poisoning from some Chinese food. I had somebody ask me, oh, you don't cook? I mean, why they always try to downgrade black people or be judgmental of, automatically assign a negative motive to black people? I did 27 Thanksgivings by myself. I didn't even bother to tell that person. I've done 27 Thanksgivings by myself. Me and my sister, before she passed, a couple years before she passed, we did a Thanksgiving so big at her house, where she was pregnant, so I went down there and I did the cleaning, because sometimes, she wasn't on top of that, and, she knew how to clean brilliantly, but she was sometimey, my sister. I went down there, she was pregnant, I GI'd the kitchen, made sure the kitchen was proper. I mean, a total GI, except the fridge, because by that time I was exhausted. I haven't did a GI on the entire kitchen, And, excuse me, did a Thanksgiving that we cooked for 3 days. That's how I do it. Cook for 3 days. I don't feel like doing all that cooking on one day. So big that between the food me and my sister did and the dishes that were contributed by my auntie and by my sister's her baby daddy's her baby daddy's uncle, he bought a banging seafood salad. Between that and all the food we cooked for 3 days, me and my sister, of which I was in charge of most of the cooking, because she was working at that time, so she had to go to work, and she was pregnant, so she could only do but so much. But she did some, I did majority of the cooking. We had so much food, we had 3 tables full of food. 1 table for the meats, 1 table for the sides, and and the veggies, and another table for the desserts. People, she said, was coming to our house for 3 days after Thanksgiving asking was there any more plates, because the word got out. And it was so good that she had 1 son and she had 2 daughters, except they had different dads. Her son's dad, his name was Big Curtis, and the son Little Curtis. He took a whole half pan home. We didn't mind. We had tons of food, because he came, even though they weren't together, he came, just family type of thing. His son is there and everything. He's cool with her, the father of her daughters, and he took a whole half pan of food home. We didn't mind. His mom minded, because when he asked could he have some, it was so good. She asked if she could have some of it, and it was so good. He said no. So she had to come get her own plate. Anyway, so that's what I mean. People always immediately think black people haven't done anything. Because I was sick from food. I eat Chinese food maybe twice a month. But see, people don't understand, because they're not, focused on academics like I am. To be in here to pioneer a genetic principle and at the same time taking care of, day-to-day activities, and also defending myself for years from bullshit where niggas actually had me trying to take me to jail, pulled out my house, no shoes on, with nothing but socks, boxer t-shirt, coming home in the rain, all kind of crazy shit for the last 5 years, but in their mind, because that's my role, I'm supposed to make sure while I do all that, defend myself and my kid for years from bullshit, fake charges, fake police reports, fake ACS cases, all this shit. I'm supposed to also keep a perfect house while being sick and pioneering a genetic principle that nobody else can do. Miss me with the bullshit. Do you realize how much work goes into pioneering a genetic principle? When I reveal this, scientists from all over the world will want to check out my work, see my studies, what did I base it on, and try to rip it apart and say I'm wrong. I have to devote the rest of my life to making sure I get my all of the supporting, scientific principles, scientific or with regards to the statistics that I'm going to compile from my studies. I have to make sure that all of that is mathematically sound, that it's all according to scientific or mathematic proven formulas and standards. Not to mention, that it makes sense and that it all fits together, like all the pieces of the puzzle. Because believe me, the scientific community is going to look at me with my high school diploma and try to rip it to shreds. So, I ain't worried about if my apartment is not in perfect order because there's only 24 hours in a day. My God, I got to sleep. And I've been ill and I have to devote my time toward this genetic principle. So let's see what y'all could do while you're sick and been defending yourself for 5 years from fake cases. People have SWAT to my house, 95 calls to the police, red flagged with captains, got to decide with all this shit for nothing by my own people. That's why I had to do this study, because their behavior pattern shows that they are brainwashed and trainwashed to those descendants of the slave breeding programs, principles that they... See, it wasn't just a genetic crime that was done where they were bred for certain characters, but also they were brainwashed and trainwashed and physically abused and even all to the point of being murdered if they didn't go along with it. So this is like Stockholm Syndrome behaviors, that were bred into my people for generations and told to the women, if you don't train your sons to do everything we say just like this, we'll buck break them too. And so, no. I'm going to be, revealing all of this. But first I have to put together all of my supporting documentation, all of my supporting scientific principles, mathematic principles, statistics, and put together the studies in order to factualize and in order to verify everything that I'm saying. 'Cause I'm brilliant. That's why I say thanks, Chuckles. He was the first descendant of slave breeding programs individual that I discovered by comparing and contrasting him in a, intellectual hypotheses with my descendant of slave breeding programs cousin Michael. And that's how I discovered it. But the first descendant of slave breeding program family that I actually discovered was my own. I lived through all of that descendant of slave breeding programs behaviors that they did. On me. And so the first family I'll be revealing in my descendant of slave breeding programs genetic studies, the genetic principle will be my own, because I have all the information about my own family already. And after I did finish revealing my own, all their descendant of slave breeding programs, behavior patterns that I've lived through and survived, then I'll be coming to, discuss and follow up with everybody else who wants to, take me like I'm stupid. Right? Chuckles, Bam Cheese. I am stupid. I'm stupid. I'm broke. I'm a bum. And that's what it was. That's right. I wasn't upset because y'all wanted to violate my kid. It was because I wanted y'all to violate me. I said, no, I want all that attention on me. See how I talk? See, my family know when I do shit like that, And so I'm kicking the Willy Bobo with a fam. Don't worry, I'm coming to kick the Willy Bobo with y'all too. Don't run. Remember? Yeah, that's right. I am. I'm so broke that I had to give them change. They look hungry out there. I gave them a little change. They did look hungry, And now they seem sad that they realize I'm not stupid as they thought and all of the rest of that. Well, that's too bad. They better get used to it, because I'm not going back to playing stupid no more. Thanks, Chuckles. Bye. I got a whole lot of people that I need to go offend while I tell them about their descendant of the slave breeding programs, genetic principles and behavior patterns that they're exhibiting. Bye.